This is a comic review of X-Men issue 64. This came out January 1970, When Sunfire Strikes. Now this is a Japanese mutant, and this is the first appearance of Sunfire. He's a bit like sort of Quicksilver, but of course with sort of Human Torch heat rays. Not the most amazing of superheroes in the sense, obviously, it's a bit of a, I suppose, like more like maybe Cyclops, but obviously from his hands instead. Now, I'm not certain if this character developed any other powers. Maybe it's one of those things that they thought, oh, that's pretty cool having a guy who could blast people from his hands, but surely he could have done other things than that. But obviously, he can fly. I suppose that's useful as well. But you, of course, got the. Now, this was just before the reprint issues of the end of the original X-Men. And you also had the previously brilliant run of Roy Thomas and Neil Adams. I loved all of those issues. And so you got the stories there. If you want to see these in reprint, there's the X-Men Epic Collection. I think 3 has that. Of course, also the Essentials as well. That's another source of these stories. So just going to quickly run through this now. This is by Stan Lee, Roy Thomas, Don Heck. So Don Heck had taken over from Neil Adams, but it does say, a little note here, that Neil Adams will be back in the next issue. So you've got the coming of Sunfire. Ants, he said. Actually, he's a bit of an angry fellow, this guy. So he's sort of, got problems. I think he turned up was part of the new X-Men briefly. I'm not certain, or they sort of talked with him. I think that was a bit. But as part of his career afterwards, I really have not followed what much happened with Sunfire. One of the most powerful mutants we've yet encountered. Really? I don't think so somehow. What about Magneto? I think, to be honest, Magneto is a bit more than Sunfire. However, he tries to blast this person, and of course the X-Men become involved in the story. Now the artwork is quite like Neil Adams feel to it, I felt. Maybe other people would look at it and say, no, it isn't. But I think it just felt. Now, unfortunately, this issue is a very tatty issue, and you've got someone decided to cut out, for some weird reason, part of the thing, because there was obviously something he took a like to. So it's got the Stan's soap box, and you've got the bulletin here, and of course you've got the good old checklist. And I always love checklists, so just going to read through a few of them. Fantastic Four 95, Spider-Man 81, Silver Surfer 12, Avengers 72, Thor 172, Captain America 122, Daredevil 60. Now, well, not always the best of issues. Some of those, the Avengers 72, the Scorpio one, and also Fantastic Four by that time. I mean, probably for me, the Monocle was probably the worst of the Jack Kirby run. I really did not like that story. No, there was one with the, just suddenly thought of that one. There's a few that I didn't like. So, but 95 was definitely a real poor issue. But you've got Daredevil 60, Hulk 124, I love that one. The Rhino, and the Leader as well, no less. Iron Man 22 with the Crimson Dynamite, I always love those stories. You've got Submariner 22, I love that one because it's got the Undying ones, which was like the first point in the Defenders. So you've got that story, and that's coming out in the Defenders omnibus fairly soon. Sergeant Fuse 74, amazing. Sergeant Fuse 74, so many issues, and again it's still, of course, World War II. It's still top secrets of the World War II. Captain Savage 18. Now, Captain Savage, why has there been no omnibus edition or epic collection or essentials or anything particularly? That poor guy has been completely forgotten about. And you've got like Mad About Millie. Now that's another one that definitely needs an epic collection, maybe. However, you've got the story here of obviously the X-Men, and initially seems to be generally Angel and the Beast have obviously got problems. You've got the characters there, and you've got the origin of Sunfire as well on this page. There's not actually, when you go through this, flicking through the story, there's not really much actually happening with the X-Men. There's a little bit, obviously, of action at the end. Personally, I don't think he's one of the most powerful of supervillains or superheroes, of course. He obviously sees himself as that. However, there's, of course, the twist at the end. Now, I love this comic also for things like this. This is one I love, the adverts. And you've got Alter Ego. I love the Alter Ego from Roy Thomas. brilliant. And of course, you can see that $1.50 per issue, $5 for 5 issues. And also all the other adverts as well. Lots of ones here. Marvel's DC Enforcer, Marvel Comics Checklist and Price List from Robert Bell. And then, obviously, the comic finishes. And I'm not going to show you the end, of course. Read the book. It's the best thing. I think it's a good little tale. However, I say it was a bit of a odd ending to after a brilliant run from Neil Adams. I don't think it was ever going to match that. However, Thor 172, I always love these little pictures there. And Iron Man, now that's 22, Crimson Dynamo, and of course Marvel Mania as well. And then you've got the letters page, and again, someone's decided to chop that out as well for some weird reason. And he's got, obviously, talking about X-Men issue 60 and Soren. And of course, they mentioned Tolkien in there, so there's a nice little mention there. So, X-Men 64 against Sunfire. A very unusual issue, like I say, not the best of X-Men, but not a bad issue at all.